What's poppin', my Freeform Renegades? You are tuned into the Freeform Network. Thanks for joining us for another fun episode of Freeform Radio. I am your host, Noel, with my co host, Andy.
It's all good, Andy, and we're glad to be here, ready to talk your ears off.
Yes, sir. And it's another beautiful day here in Chicago. It looks like we got a little reprieve from this heat wave that just passed us. But wherever you listeners are, we hope you're feeling relaxed and feeling good. And we're just going to jump into it and catch you up on our week. I'm going to actually start off with the video game I just recently beat, Spider-Man for PS5. Well, technically it came out on PS4 in 2018, but it was remastered, and I played it on the PS5, and I just beat that recently. Have you ever played that, Andy?
I think the last Spider-Man game I played was the one that they sent out incomplete on the PS3. I don't know if you know about that one.
Um,
Dan, I remember talking to Danny at the time, and I go, they didn't really have an ending on it, and it was like this big deal. It was like a two Spider-Man thing. I got like halfway through it, or like a quarter of it. I'm like, I'm done. But I haven't played because a couple of Spider-Mans before that were pretty cool, and then that one kind of like, eh. Other than that, I haven't played Spider-Man on any type of system in a long time.
it was the same thing for me pretty much. I played a couple of the Spider-Mans on Super Nintendo, PlayStation, PS2, all that. The last one before this one, I think, was Shattered Dimensions, where
Okay.
there's like time traveling and all that, and trying to correct like things that went wrong or whatever. But it's been a while, so like it had to have been like at least 10 years since I played a Spider-Man game. But man, this one is really well done. Um, I highly recommend it. I really do. I would probably rate it close to a 9, maybe like an 8.8, 8.9. Um, almost perfect, man, because they got the gliding down right. Like they got the web swinging, they got all that down. It was like really crisp, really like easy to just do, and it was smooth, man. The
Right.
fighting, the combat is similar to like the Batman games. I don't know if you played any of those. The Asylum, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, Dark Knight. All those games are similar. Lord of the Rings, Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. Those are all similar in fighting style. It's essentially just square triangle, and then if you want to like defensively dodge, you push circle. So square and triangle to attack, and then you push circle to dodge, and it's just a simple combat system, but they have cool gadgets that they make it like to just spice up the combat. So they give you like other skills you can learn, and things that you can modify your suit to do, because you have multiple different suits you could choose from, and you unlock a bunch of stuff. It was actually really cool, man. It was huge city, so it's kind of like GTA, where it has like different key points that you can go to, and it's essentially New York City. So like there's the Empire State Building's there. You got like actual college campuses and the Central Park. You got all that. It was super freaking cool, man. And I've obviously never been in New York, so just kind of swinging around and taking a look at the city, I'm like, man, it looks beautiful. And the updated graphics really made it pop. The story is really good. I would say it's like a medium lane story. It's not really a long story. If you focus on the main missions and kind of
Mm-hmm.
avoid the side quests, you're gonna be done in one day, maybe 2 days. But good story. You got your typical villains in there. Um, Mainly focused on like Dr. Rock and Scorpion and Rhino and
Yeah.
Electro.
The basic Spider-Man bad guys. The top ones, like always, Doc Ock, Rhino, uh, Electro. Um, so yeah, it's pretty cool. Man, it sounds familiar to the other game. I think the other thing had like multiple suits, and I even think it had like Venom or something. I vaguely remember, but yeah, reviewing like all the Spider-Man games like you're talking about, I think every PlayStation. has had a Spider-Man game. So I'm kind of, yeah. I mean, I don't know, that it sounds like open world beat 'em up. Uh, like you said, they kind of blur all to the same, you know.
Yeah, no, that is true. I mean, it's essentially just another Spider-Man game. It's except like adapted to the modern, graphical capabilities. So
Right, right.
they finally worked out the kinks on a lot of different things, and it's cool. They have a lot of cutscenes, and the cutscenes are really well done. It's like you're watching an animated movie, and so um, overall, really good game, and I recommend it. And yeah, so I just beat that one recently. I'm actually working on Miles Morales now. That's the one I'm playing in anticipation for Spider-Man 2, which is coming out in a couple of months, I think. And
Oh, okay.
I'll be
Is he
trying that.
the Miles Morales? Is he the Puerto Rican Spider-Man, if I remember correctly? And
Yeah.
is he's gonna be is that like from the multiverse thing?
So I guess I haven't seen that part of the story yet, but the two movies that came out recently, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, it's that it's that same Miles Morales character, but in the story within the game, I haven't seen anything about a multiverse yet. It's just kind of his backstory. His father's a police chief. He gets
Yeah.
killed. His uncle's the Prowler. It's like a thief villain, and his mom's gonna run for mayor or something like that. And yeah, I mean it's all right. It's a shorter story. I heard probably like 6 to 8 hours or something like that. Versus like the other Spider-Man was like maybe 10 to 15. So it's good so far. I think I'm like almost halfway through the story. I'm kind of just focusing on that. I just kind of want to get through it and be prepared for Spider-Man 2. But so yeah, that's covering the Spider-Man stuff. I also, I've actually been playing a lot of the PS5 lately. During the week after work, it's just something to pass the time. And everyone has like different ways to unwind. And I used to just watch like YouTube or TV or whatever when I'm having my dinner and just relax. But it's been kind of getting stale. Like I've been kind of getting bored of the stuff on TV until recently. And I actually started watching Better Call Saul, and I finished the last sixth season of it. Have you seen that show?
I love the show. Fortunately I got married, so I got up to the second season where his brother is it the one, what season where he takes him to court? Is that the second season?
Oh man, it's gonna be hard for me to remember what
Yeah,
season.
that's why I said, like, I didn't watch anything after that court thing. And yeah, I mean I loved it. I haven't had, dude, there's no time. I get here, like you said, you come home from work, you got that routine, like I play with the baby, say what's up to the wife, I eat dinner, and the next, I'm older, so I'm by bed like by 9:30 because I gotta get up early the next day to. I'm usually up by 5 in the morning,
Oh
so it's,
man, yeah.
man, that, like, I do a quick, if I'm watching TV. I started rewatching The Sopranos. I'm like on season 4 right now, but that's if I get bored with like my YouTube stuff or something like that. So I feel like you get that routine, like you said, it gets stale. So that's why I started rewatching Sopranos because it usually doesn't disappoint. And then that's it. I mean, but yeah, I did watch Better Call Saul, and I think I got up to the second, maybe third season. I started it, but I know I ran
Okay.
into 6 seasons. You said, right? 5 or 6. I know they announced. I remember when I saw the announcement they were gonna end the show.
Yeah, yeah. They ended it. I think it was like last year or this year. Um, so like I took a break after like season 4 or 5. And it was like it lasted maybe a couple of years because I was there was just so much stuff going on and COVID and all that, and then
Mm-hmm.
you know a lot of shows took hiatuses for a long time, and so season 6, I already forgot what I had watched in season 5, so I was like, I'll just wait until whenever.
Yeah,
And so yeah, whenever arrived just this last week, and I finally got to watch it, and yeah, I didn't force myself, but it was kind of like I had to like make it like on the list. I had to put it on the list of like chores of like things to do. My to-do list. So it was hard to start watching it, is what I'm trying to say. But then when I got going, a couple of episodes in, and like I got really drawn in. I was like, all right, this is why I love this show. This is why I'm watching it. And so it was cool to see how they finished it off, um, how it transitions into Breaking Bad. And you have some cameos from Breaking Bad in
yeah.
the season 6 finales, the last 2 episodes. And so it was cool, man. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'm sure you'll get around to it one day, and it's definitely worth watching. 100% worth
Yeah,
watching.
real quick, like I'm
Hmm.
watching um on Hulu This Fool. I kind of reviewed the season 1 last week. It's about like Mexican American Californians going to uh just nonsense, and like I thought the first season was decent. I'm like, oh, it's 10 episodes, half hour each. Uh Episodes and 10 episodes. I'm like, it's you could if, like you could watch 2 episodes a day, you'll be done in a week. I started watching season 2. So like I'm through I went to episode 4, and like there was the first episode was funny. The second and third, I was just like, it's kind of like a chore to watch, even though it was a half hour. Then the episode four picked up. But yeah, it's just like that's why you said like, yeah, I feel like you don't have time when you watch something like that. Sometimes when I try to watch something and I'm not feeling it, like I just stop watching it. I did that with the show about the woman on Hulu with they went to jail or they incarcerated her for with the blood sample thing. I can't think of the name of the show.
Is it like a docu series?
No, it's just yeah, it's a docu series. Oh man, the one with they took all the money and shit, and they're gonna make all these things with the one drop of blood.
Oh. Hmm.
Kimberly, I can't think of the name, but
Hmm.
I live. I watched like the first halfway of the season, and I'm like, I can't get through this. Like, this is pretty. It's too slow moving for me now, so I stopped watching it. And the Dropout, I think is what it's called. And then
Dropout. Okay.
because she left Stanford to start this company, and everybody, some people knew that she was full of shit, but people still believed in her. And
Is it with that CEO, the weird
yeah, yeah,
psychopathic one? Okay.
Theranos, yeah, with the Theranos woman CEO that just went to
Oh
jail.
shit. All right. I haven't seen it, but I now I'm like more familiar with what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I was all into like the real life thing. I saw some documentaries on it. She fooled people. She couldn't make the thing work, and then they did the show.
She
And
like never blinks, right?
yeah, and she changed her voice to sound like
Oh
someone.
yeah.
And but whatever. Like I said, but I wanted to see it. I saw it like the first 3 episodes. I'm like, this is a chore, man. Like it was okay, but nothing like I don't. If I don't watch it, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean there's just so many options of things to watch nowadays that it's hard to sit down and watch a whole season of something and like binge it. Um the weekends, it's our time to catch up on all the things we didn't do during the week because we're tired and all that. So
Right.
yeah, I get it. It's hard to keep up on all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I happen to have time to catch up on a few things, and another show, Ozark. I finished that one too. I think that was like season 7 though,
That's
or
another one
8.
I wanted to watch. Because
Yeah.
everybody said great things about it. But I just never got time to watch it. And then I try to watch something with my wife where we could watch something together. I think the last thing was Yellowstone, and we just with the baby we haven't had time, or we're tired, or somebody's asleep. So, but yeah, I did want to check out Ozarks, but I never got around to watching it. Do you recommend it?
Oh, 100%, man. That one, similar story. It's when COVID hit, they took a hiatus. I stopped watching for a couple years, and then I forgot what happened. Uh, it was like a chore to start it, but then once I started it and got a couple episodes in, I got hooked again, and it immediately made sense why I watched it all the way up to this point. And it ended on like a satisfactory note. Like I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not gonna give any hints. It ended in like like a conclusion happened, and so I felt like everything was it was worth it. Unlike other shows like Game of Thrones, I watched like fucking 8 years of my life I put into that show watching, uh, and just to see it end so horribly. So I was really excited. Like I was really satisfied with Ozark's ending though, and yeah, I was glad to have watched that.
Yeah, the Game of Thrones, and my wife was really into that, so we started binge watching it. And she's like, "You
I
gotta
feel
rewatch it. You gotta rewatch it." So because I was trying to catch up to her, and I caught up. And then yeah, that last season was towards the end. The ending, that was brutal.
I was horrible, man. And it just like everything they set up was just thrown to the trash. Like they set up so many good plot points, and I predicted it going in a certain direction and completely 180 shifted. And I was like, well, there goes that. Like everything they built up, just I guess F it, fuck it, just
Yeah,
move
they were
it.
trying to like wrap it up or something, and then when yeah, it was just you something so good, and then like they don't know how to end it. It's always it always can mess up a show.
Exactly, man. And that's why I brought it up because Ozark and Better Call Saul, those shows ended just exactly the way they should have. Even better than The Sopranos ending, because that one was like open ended. We didn't really know until the actual creator finally came out and said it how it ended. But
Yeah,
yeah.
and he
So
didn't give it justice with the many cents of Newark.
no,
That movie was just whatever.
it was a
And then going
letdown.
back to like Breaking Bad, like that ending was all right, but then they did the movie the with Jesse. Then they did the Break Better Call Saul. Like they won't let that show. Like it was such a good fucking show. Like what they're doing with it now, they're like in commercials and
Oh
making
yeah,
tequila. It's like so fucking weird, dude. Like you're selling.
yeah.
I feel like you're selling out the. I get it. You got to get paid, but that like show is considered like one of the best shows on American TV ever, and what they're doing to it now, it's just weird. It's like a better Mad Men. Like that's another great American show, and like the ending was like decent, but they're not. They just let it there, let it, and then let it get people enjoy it over time, and notice how great it was. And Breaking Bad was that, and now it's just like they did the movie, they did the show, and then now they're doing commercials, and it's just strange.
Yeah, I feel like that's more common nowadays. Maybe that if it was like if it came out in like the 90s or early 2000s, that probably wouldn't have happened, but I feel like it's more common nowadays cuz people it's like social media and just so much exposure compared to before. But yeah, that's pretty much how it goes, man.
You gotta
Yeah.
sell out, man. You gotta sell out to the man, especially with all these strikes and like the work stoppage, and a lot of shows that are decent are getting canceled because like COVID and like the last strike, and now this strike that's going on. A lot of shows, if they're not like consistently doing, uh, fall rolls around, or they come out in the summer, or they dump them on a streaming thing, it's an issue now because people just forget about them, and yeah, or a lot of shows are just getting canceled because they don't want to it's not doing great, and then the ratings ain't good, and it costs a lot of money. And then Netflix and the streamers, all of them, they're not picking up like cancel shows like they used to, because they have to tighten their belt now, and they're like, well, we'll just take it to Netflix, right? And then like nobody's doing that no more because Netflix is saying no to some of this stuff.
Which is crazy to think. Like finally, they're they're starting to worry about the quality of their programming. It's like, wow, okay, we'll see if it's not too late.
Well, that's why it's everybody sends stream. I mean, not to get too much on the business side, but all of them lost money, I think, except Netflix, or they broke even or something. Hulu, Peacock, Paramount, Disney Plus, Amazon really hasn't said anything about theirs, but they all lost money, like not little. They like a huge amount of fucking money,
Yeah,
and they're
it's
like
hard to
suffering for that now. Yeah,
yeah, it's hard to continue to grow. I think, and because there's only so much content, and there's only so much you can put on there, especially when you branch off. Like everyone's got their own thing now. It's so many different streaming services where, as cable was pretty much brought it all together. I feel like one day that's gonna happen, dude. They're gonna bring it back. Not cable like Comcast, but like all the streaming in one. And it's just gonna be like one business that brings them all together again.
like yeah,
But
the just real quick, what's going on with ESPN Plus or whatever? Eventually, ESPN is contemplating getting off of cable and then just making everything through their app, their streaming app or whatever. And they're talking about charging users. I think right now it's, if you bundle it up, it's like $14 with Disney and Hulu,
right.
or $9 or $10 alone. They're talking about if they do that, they're gonna charge everybody like between $30 and $35 a month.
Oh.
And I was just like, nobody's gonna. I mean, somebody's gonna pay, but I don't think it's gonna be as many people as they think. Because that's just for sports. I get it, maybe, but I don't see nobody paying that much for that.
If they were smart, maybe they would make it like 30, let's say they do that $30 a month or whatever it is. But then they do, oh, you know what? If you get our year bundle, then it's only like 50% off sale, limited time deal, come now or whatever, something like that. Like they market it up, like market it to the world. Then they'll probably get more sales for that. And because I've seen there's so many different tactics, man. And like I see this shit now. When I was a kid, I didn't really pay attention to the dollar amounts and all that. I just wanted this, I wanted that, and I didn't really care. But now, obviously, I'm an adult and I'm paying more attention to my expenditures and all that. I've seen how these companies work with their sales. Something will be priced $15 Monday through Friday. Saturday rolls around, oh, special sale, 50% off. And then they mark up the price anyway. So
Yeah,
now it's like $16, but they give you that you're getting 50% off because normally it's like 30 whatever. And it's like, no, dude, they raised the price. So I've seen them do this, but I have my own tricks too. There's a company that has their website. I'm not gonna mention it because I don't want it to like I don't want them to hear this and then screw me over later on and start raising prices. So I'm not gonna mention who it is, but there's a website that you can go to that sells like a bunch of different movies and TV shows and all that stuff. You can
yeah,
get on 4K Blu-ray, physical media, and that's where I've been building my collection from is one of these websites. And they also have a stuff on eBay, but on eBay, they have a cool feature where if you buy more than one item, like you buy two or more, you get 15% off. And if you do Blu-rays, you get 20% off. So if you buy two or more Blu-rays, 20%, two or more 4Ks, 15% off. So when I saw their deal, I started looking closer at the numbers. I'm like, holy shit, they raised the price. This item was normally $15, but now this weekend it's 18, and this other TV show is normally 40, but now it's 35. So they raised one item $3, lowered the other one $5. I'm like, you know what? I still save in the end by getting it, and I'm gonna get it on eBay, so I get the 50% off, so I save even more anyway. So I didn't get it on their website. I got it on eBay, and I saved money ultimately. But I noticed that tactic. I'm like they raised one of the items $3 and lowered the other one 5, so to kind of incentivize people to
Right.
get.
No, it's crazy, dude. But yeah, there's all sorts of tactics people fall for and shit like that. And you gotta just. But there's always people that are gonna pay full price and all that other shit. That's what they want because that's where they make most of their money.
100%, man. And speaking of money and all that, how's the house hunting going?
It's going, man. We went through a couple of houses. Um, it's just it's crazy, man, because the house uh, there's low inventory right now. I mean, I don't know how much y'all know, but I'll just get real quick with it. Here in certain parts of Illinois, the northern Illinois, there's housing mark location, location. That's a very true thing because certain the locations that we like, uh, the houses are selling over list price because there's low inventory. And so out of like all the houses, out of like we went to see one, two, three, four houses. All of them sold that weekend in about 20 to 30,000 over the list price that they were asking.
Sheesh, man.
so
That is so crazy, dude.
so we got kind of turned off. We're searching here and there, and we'll see how it goes, man. We were waiting for this after summer thing, which the fall, winter, that's when stuff kind of like levels out, and maybe we could get something better. We're in no rush. We're just starting to see what's out there, but yeah, it's crazy, man. Depending on where the location that it is, like if you're in the city, certain parts are just like dirt cheap, but it's a rough area. And then the suburbs, as you get closer to the city now, some of the housing is a lot cheaper. It's the cheapest that I've ever seen it. So to me, that means everybody's leaving, moving farther west or up north. Um, so like where I grew up, a lot of the houses were always over. I mean, they were pricey. But now I was looking at just to show my wife, like, look at this. The houses are like good brick homes are like they're the cheapest I've ever seen it. I was shocked. I remember at the peak those houses were like almost $400,000. They're all
Oh
under
wow.
they're all under three now.
Oh
280,
wow.
289, 290, 290, 289, 275, and these are like 3, 4 bedroom houses with a basement. So
And like roughly what area? You don't have to like mention a specific city, but like maybe like just a radius.
yeah, it's I'll say like we're looking in Schaumburg and Elk
Oh
Grove
wow.
Village
Okay,
out
that's a
there.
good area.
But yeah, that's what did the guy say? It's premium housing because
Those
the schools are,
buzzwords, man.
yeah, those are good schools out there, and the housing. That's why I said people are leaving and they're moving out there. Plus, you're close, to Woodfield, the mall, Elk Grove Village. You're close to the highway, right? The expressway is right there, and people who go into the city or go towards the city, it's all like just right there. And the taxes ain't bad, but like I said, we'll see how it goes. The only thing we're just gonna keep looking at it, and then we'll see what happens. There's some houses way out where I live. They're nicer. They're just more expensive, and they're bigger. The only houses where they're like a little more affordable and you get more square footage is up north, where your brother kind of moved to. You can get a
Okay,
really
yeah.
big house, like 2,700 square foot for like in the low 300s. And then if you get like a ranch, they'll be around 200 or less. Um, uh, 3 bedroom house, something like that. They're a lot cheaper up there. But again, it's the commute where you work and all that other stuff. But you get more bang for your buck up there.
Yeah, man, I'm actually like kind of starting to just like dip my toe in the pool and like figure out this whole thing because pretty soon like I plan to get a house as well, and I wanted to get somewhere near Rosemont, maybe a little north of that, or like it's nearby where I work is what I would like to get. Um, but yeah, back when I was looking, which was like a year and a half ago, just kind of like browsing, things were like super expensive and the interest rates were real high, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
they're high
man,
right now. Yeah.
yeah, is it like 5% or something like
If
that?
we did a pre-approval. We have really good credit. We're looking at 7,
Whew, man, dude, that hurts,
just
dude.
under 7, like 6.9, something like that.
And
But
what it
right
wasn't
now,
too long ago, it was three, right? Or something like that.
yeah, I mean the mortgage on my house right now is it's like 3.25.
Yeah, man, that's what I was.
That's gone. Yeah, all that's gone, dude. I mean, I think best case, if they stay the same or they go down, you're gonna get it like at 5. That's what everybody's hoping for. It'll be like at 5.
Dude, it's rough, man. It's really rough.
Yeah, my wife's like, what can we do about that? Oh, we gotta save up more money and pay cash.
Pretty much, man.
Unless
Yeah.
like there's another economic downturn, which there might be. I mean, you could probably get really nice houses, like super expensive. So that's why we're like in no rush. I thought this year was gonna be um a lot cheaper. Actually, the opposite happened. Even though when the interest rates went high, but now, I mean, you're starting to see the houses come down big time. Like I seen a couple houses like they went down 30, 40,000. Like they marked them down. I'm just like shit. But those are expensive houses, you know.
Yeah. Nah, but I mean, if that's gonna be essentially your home for the next, or maybe the whole your whole life, the rest of your life, then it could be worth it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. We just I'll keep everybody posted. And then the other thing you got to worry about right now, I kind of, and you know me, I'm doom and gloom. I was reading some of the economic stuff I read. People were bitching that their house insurance went up like 30%, 40%. And I'm like, damn, that's a lot. Like, and I got my insurance bill for the house. Yeah, it fucking went up like 30%. So now I gotta shop around. Dude, that's the most expensive house insurance I ever paid for. Like, I remember at my first house, it was like $300, and before this house, it was pushing like around 7. Right now, I think it's like we got it at like 1,200, and
Jeez,
that's a
man.
fucking a lot, dude. And now it's just
Yeah.
like what I got a fucking mansion here with somebody slides. You're gonna give them $1 million, falls on down on my property. So I'm imagining like rentals or condos or houses. It's probably gone up too.
Dang, dude. And then property taxes on top
Yeah,
of all that.
that's another thing in property taxes. Depending on where you live and how big your house is and all that, it's pricey.
Dude, I think everything's just gone up across the board, man. Even utilities. Like I almost because I've been, paying the electric bill and stuff, and I almost paid $400 last month, man. It was
For what?
insane
For
for
light?
electricity. Yeah, dude, electricity.
Hey, you better tell people to turn them lights off and stop running that AC 24/7.
It's because everybody was home, dude, and when people are off for school and they're just at home playing PC and all these computers they use a lot of power, man. So
Yeah, I paid my electric bill. It was pretty high. It was like $75,
no way, that's
and
cheap, dude.
and I was
Holy fuck,
bitching.
man, that'd be nice, dude. No, it's because we got at least like four computers running, like six TVs, got a bunch of shits because there's a lot of people in this house, man, and it's just how it goes. But I'm
That's
like,
one
hey,
of the perks of having a small house, man. Because the only thing when it really goes up is because the AC was running. It was a couple hot days, so the heat wave we just had, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fucking like pushing $80.
yeah, no, that this heat wave was pretty intense. Thankfully, it was short lived. It was just 2 days though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, it was. the next day was like when I woke, because there was a couple those 2 days I woke up, it was like over 80 in the morning taking my kid to daycare, and then like that Friday you wake up, it's like like 70s. It's like it was like night. Like I was like, damn, it's so fucking cold out here, you know.
It was so nice waking up that Friday morning. I was like, wow, here we go. It was nice. It's a good way to start your Friday, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Just real quick, the other thing with we're talking about, I've been. I want to talk about Maui, Hawaii a little bit. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Maui. Was the shit, and then went to see what happened to those people with the fires or brush fires, whatever the hell they're calling it. It's pretty devastating. But my tinfoil hat's on right now, and I'm starting to think the Chinese did that because they have these lasers and shit. I don't know how much you read into
Oh,
that
man.
because
And
there was
I wouldn't
video
doubt
of
it.
them. There was video of them earlier in this year where they were shooting green lasers into Hawaii. I don't know if you know anything about that. And they claimed it was a weather satellite doing this. And then now they're with this, and then like how only like certain parts of Maui got burnt, and like the rich people's or like the mansions didn't get hurt, but everybody else did. Um, I'm kind of thinking it was something like that, or to me, it seems tactical, like it was done on purpose. But when you see the devastation, and then the media's not really talking about it, oh yeah, we gotta help Maui. Nobody's really saying anything about it, which is weird. Um, that's another thing that raises a red flag.
Yeah, dude. It's one of those things that while it is mainstream news, it's how do I put this? Like, not everyone is going to be concerned about what's going on over there. Unfortunately, like it's the U.S. It's part of the U.S. Like technically. So I feel like there's just a lot of people out there right now that don't really care about what's going on with the U.S. More so than other countries, and part of that thing has to do with the politics. Which putting that aside, these are real people going through a real, incredibly tough time right now. So, well, our hearts are out to them. It's the prayers, and hopefully, yeah, hopefully things turn around for the better somehow. Man, it's just a rough time all over, man.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. No one's really talking about. I was watching college football yesterday, and I think out of all the games I watched, only one game talked about it. Everybody else is just like, yeah, whatever, and like you don't see no Red Cross stuff, and attack. I don't know. Maybe I haven't really searched it, but usually when there's some type of natural disaster, there's like all this stuff. Um, and I didn't see any of that for this, and like they're not really talking about it. They just they showed the fires, but they're not showing the aftermath. And then people are talking about how they're not really doing anything, and the people are like gonna get displaced. They're talking about you might not go back and give them those properties or something. And like it's an island, dude. It's small. You could drive through the whole island in like I think in like an hour or two. What I remember. I mean, it's small. I mean, it's an island, so it's small, and everybody that lives there, it's people who buy the stuff and they make money off of it, like condos and stuff, and everybody else just it's been there forever, and they live in like these homes, but it's expensive. So
Yeah, I've heard of like it's one of the more expensive places to live.
yeah, food, everything is real expensive. I mean, when I went out there to buy any food, it was more money than over here because
The
and
import.
yeah, they import. The only thing that was similar to pricing back here was the Costco in Maui, which I went to. It was a lot cheap. The cheapest thing in the island, and that place was packed. Like all the local people were going. Dude, I saw people go in there ordering like 5, 10 pizzas at a time. It was amazing how many pizzas. When you go get hot dogs, that was $1.50, and the pizzas were cheap. People were just going crazy over there, man. And the gas was cheap too. It was $1 cheaper than the rest of the island. So when we would go gas from the rental car, we waited in line to fill up because there was a line of people in the morning trying to get gas.
Yeah, that makes sense though, because they would have to do that. Otherwise, people wouldn't, probably go to that station very often. And I'm sure a lot of people there don't have to drive as far, right? So
No.
their tank are gonna last them, weeks probably.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's pretty messed up. I just hope I don't know, man. You know me, I'm always thinking like when they don't really talk, when everything's some disaster or something, you see all the social media stuff. For this one, man, it was like nothing, and I'm like, wow, like I was kind of shocked about it. So to me, like I'm like they're trying to cover up something, or they just want people to forget about it, and so I mean that's like a big issue to me, you know.
That's why I think they're focusing on the Trump stuff, man.
Yeah, that's another thing. All the stuff with Trump, and like Biden went there after they kind of shamed him to go. He went there, and then they're having like a remembrance thing, for the people that passed away, and fucking the president is asleep, which was pretty fucking sad. I mean, it's right up there with when they were bringing bodies back from the Middle East, and Biden's looking at his watch, like like what the fuck, dude? Like it's pretty disrespectful. Like you're the president of the United States. People are gonna wait for you. It's okay.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, dude. There's obviously more going on. I don't know, man. This whole country needs to stand up and start making changes happen in politics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's I don't want to get too political, but yeah, what's going on with Maui? To me, it's interesting on how it's being handled by the media, because you know how the media is, and you see stuff on Twitter. People are pissed. People can't find loved ones. The response. I mean, you saw the videos of like the islands on fire and people are in boats in the Pacific Ocean. Like it was something like out of a movie. I was like, damn, man, like what the hell's going on, you know? And to me, knowing the resources, it's an island, and the response that the federal government, I mean, you really didn't see much on it. I just know people were talking about how they don't want them talking about it, and some certain videos were being taken down on social media. So we'll see how it goes, man. But it was it's pretty sad. And then what would be interesting to see. I just want to know, like in a year, probably after New Year's, what they're gonna do there, because uh, how they're gonna clean all that up and who gets what, because that's gonna be a whole nother fight. Like usually when there's any type of disaster, the government comes in and then they give you some money and then they want you to leave, you know? So it's gonna be like in Hawaii, what they're gonna do with all those people. I mean, are they gonna bring them over here to the mainland and go and give them like pennies on the dollar for their properties worth a shitload of money, you know? And that's what I'm interested to see what they're gonna do, how that's gonna be handled.
I mean, I would hope that this would be covered under insurance, but I don't know.
It's gonna be some FEMA thing. That's what's gonna happen. Like look in New Orleans, right? And all that. They come in, they say your house, you can't live in it, they destroy it. They give you money to leave, or they give you money for the property, but they're not going to give you the full value. And look at Hawaii is it's warm year round. The property is super valuable, and you're like, so what are they going to do? Like if they're going to try to push you out of there, I'm guessing, and then they're like, we'll give you your property is worth like 800,000, and we're like, oh, we'll give you 200,000. You know, it's a lot, and a lot of that shit's gonna be an issue. Watch, they're gonna say it's uninhabitable or something, and then they're gonna try to give you pennies on the dollar. So what rich people have
Man,
been doing, so it's getting into time, bro, fucking over poor people, and I'm assuming something like that's gonna happen. But I mean, I don't know. What do I know?
well, we'll see, man. We'll have to keep our ears and eyes on it.
But Let's get something on a lighter note. We're gonna go into our article of the week. So football season is gonna start next week when this episode drops, and I've been watching preseason football. It's been kind of brutal, but one of the funny things, Detroit, everybody's riding Detroit stick, the Detroit Lions, because they had a winning record. Their coach is kind of like old school, and everybody thinks that they're going to be competitive this year. To me, it's like it's Detroit, dude. They're never good. I'm 45 years old. I think they went to the playoffs once or twice. He requested to have a freaking lion at Ford Field. So the article states, in college sports, many programs have live mascots on the sideline, but a tradition has never caught on in the NFL. Detroit's Lions coach Dan Campbell found out why when he inquired about getting a live lion on the sideline. Campbell said that he approached the Lions owner. She said, sounds great. However, the NFL was not quite as excited about the prospect of a live lion roaming the sidelines. Sheila, the owner of the Detroit, had no problem, but the league apparently frowns about these type of things. He was careful not to call out the commissioner directly, but he did say the league is very against teams owning live animal mascots across the board. So, with that being said, I think that's pretty. First of all, being Detroit, I think that's pretty cool. If they would have a lion. Now, my thing would be, I like they just shot it down. Like I would be like, you gonna have him in a cage? Are you gonna have him like chained up with a guy walking him around? Like that's what I would have asked. But I don't know, man. I think they're more worried about what people are gonna say, like animal rights people and stuff. So what do you think, Noel? Should I know college football, they have all sorts of animals, and they have the buffalo in Colorado. They got the longhorn down in Texas. They got dogs and all this stuff. What do you think, man? Should, like, if the Bears decided to bring in like a bear to Soldier Field, and he's just walking around, or would they have him chained up? Like, what would you think if they could have him growl on the command? I think that'd be pretty sweet. Same thing with Detroit. Uh, you think it's a good idea, or would you think it boosts ticket sales, or what are your thoughts on it?
Like it sounds really cool from like a fan perspective, but I could see like why they might not let that happen ever, because it would set a precedent. So like as soon as you said the lion and for Detroit, I started thinking about the Bears for the Chicago, you know?
Yeah,
A- And while they do have some animals, like you said, I think those are more like safer, tameable animals, not like apex predators. Uh, uh, because then you'd have the Jaguars, right, in
that'd be
Jacksonville.
cool. Yeah,
I mean, I guess you already have the Dolphins, though, right? But that's
yeah. That's what
again,
I'm assuming they're rolling a tank, and then they have like a dolphin doing flips or some shit.
didn't they already do that, or was that just for
I
that
think you're thinking of
movie
The Simpsons or the movie. Yeah, you're thinking of
Ace Ventura?
Ace Ventura. Yeah.
I always thought that was legit. I guess, damn, they don't have a dolphin. All right. I mean, see, there's some animals I could see them doing, like that dolphin would be cool, but there's animals like a bear that I don't think would ever actually be feasible. Because I mean, what would you do? Trank it up before it goes out there and
I
hope
think
it
that's
doesn't
what they
murder anybody?
probably do. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. You got PETA and Alyssa Milano starting to protest and
That's why
shit.
in Carolina you got a panther. Like, imagine they had like a black panther out there. It'd be pretty sweet. Jacksonville gets the Jaguars. Like when you talk about apex predators, uh, that's about it. The other ones are like dolphins, ravens, Broncos, like a horse, a buffalo, like a bill, like a buffalo, basically in Buffalo, New York, and an eagle in Philadelphia, and the Bears. I mean, a Seahawk. I mean,
Well,
that's pretty basic to me. I mean, out of all those, like Apex, the Jaguars, then you have the Panthers, and then you got the Lions, and then probably the Bears, and then that's it.
yeah, no, it'd be interesting for sure. As a fan, it would be awesome. Yeah, I actually have never gone to a football game yet. I haven't been to Soldier Field, but it would be cool to like for my first game or whatever, see an actual live bear as a mascot there. That'd be, unforgettable.
Well, yeah, I mean, usually at halftime they bring out a dog that does the frisbee, you know. So that's as close as you're gonna see. Or they'll do the falcon thing where the guy swoops the falcon swoops up and down, or hawk, whatever it is.
They should get a Tibetan Mastiff. Have you seen those?
Mm-mm.
Those kind of
Those big
resemble
dogs.
more like bears. Yeah,
Uh,
it's a huge fluffy dog. Like, they resemble more of a bear like appearance. But
this is when the Detroit should get the Tiger King if he wasn't in jail. I'm pretty sure you could bring him like a baby lion or a cub or something. Like, I'll make
uh,
that happen for you, and like for this fee. And then but yeah, I mean, in college there's like dogs and shit like that, but I'm thinking in the NFL, like back in the day, maybe hell, even the Notre Dame, they had a dog for a while, an Irish Yorkie or something, un perrito, a small dog. um but hell, the Bears don't even have cheerleaders, you know. So yeah, I
oh
don't think
yeah,
Virginia McCaskey, they had cheerleaders in the 70s. They were called the Honey Bears. And then when George, from my understanding and all the myth, he passed away, and his daughter took over and he got rid of him. She got rid of him. So maybe after, unfortunately, she's no longer with us, they might bring him back. Um, but going back to the article, I mean, I can see the way the NFL is now. It's so corporate; they'll never allow this, And um, th- th- I'm shocked. Like I said, the Detroit Lions' head coach, he's kind of a character. He's like he's like a jock, and when he was like, we need lions out here, man, and like I was reading this and I started laughing. And I'm like, typical. I'm like, well, dude, why don't you worry about like winning games and shit? You guys haven't been to the playoffs in forever, and he's talking about like, let's get a fucking lion out here, bro. Like, and everybody's like, yeah, it's fucking awesome. Like, and then of course the corporate NFL is like, no, we're not gonna do that because it looks bad. And then like they're gonna shoot him, and they're gonna have the camera up, and him. He's like in a cage, probably like you said, all drugged up, because they're not gonna have a guy walk around with him like with a chain leash or something, 'Cause
oh
he
yeah.
ain't gonna be able to slow that thing down. So they bring him out in a cage, and that's probably what would happen. Let us know what you guys think uh, at our email, and Freeform Network, ffnquestions at gmail.com, what you guys think about it. But I mean, bringing animals to sports stuff, it's been in college has been done. It used to be done a lot, I think, more back in the day. But now, like I said, it's with, like you said, PETA and all that. That's likely never to happen. And it's just interesting, man. I feel the request when I read this, I'm like, this has to be a joke, right? But no, he was talking to a podcast about this, and I was thinking like, fucking, I was like, it's for fucking Detroit, man. Like, you guys are weird. It's like, why would you like look at 7 Lion, bro? That's gonna be cool. And like, uh, I don't know. I don't know. It did to me. And like their halftime shows, they usually bring like I said, a dog or something stupid like that. And then yeah, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool though to see a fucking lion out on the sidelines. I agree to that.
Do you think like the other teams will be jealous that they can't get something like that? Because like, what would Green Bay Packers do? Just a guy in drag or something?
Probably, dude. Like that's why you're looking at the other mascots or whatever. and like the Vikings have their guy, like this old man in a Viking suit. The 49ers have a thing, and then like the Indianapolis have that horse, and then
What about the
but like a
Cleveland
guy,
Browns?
the Cleveland Browns have that. It's an elf.
An elf?
Yeah. So the Browns, it's the guy who started the team or whatever was called Al Brown. So he was the team's named after him. But they had like
Okay.
this elf, like an elf that looked from like Santa's Little Helper. That's what he looked like.
Hmm.
But yeah, but then they got that dog pound thing, and then yeah, um, like the Raiders, be some pirate or something. The Cowboys, yeah. So yeah, man, I don't know, but you never been to a game, Noel, at all? To the Bear, any type of football game, like even high school or anything?
Nah, man. I've never been in person. I've been to a Sox game. Uh, I
They're
think I was
dangerous right now. Don't go. There's shootings in the park right now.
no way for real.
Yeah, there was a shooting. So I'll get this real quick before we're out of here. There was a shooting. They had the Sox love to have like a specialty night. So they had I love the 90s night, right?
Oh, okay.
And then they had Tone Loc, Rob Bass, and Vanilla Ice. There was going to be a concert after the game. So what happened is the game ended, and then they canceled the concert. They're like, oh, due to technical difficulties, there'll be no after game concert or something. They showed, I seen screenshots of the board, and then came out later that the reason it got canceled because there was a shooting in the park. Two people
Oh,
got shot. One got shot, and the other one the bullet grazed it, and they're trying to find out who did it.
dude, that is crazy, man. Yeah, it's been more and more dangerous in the city. Actually, every city, just about. It's been just crime increasing. Either
I'm gonna
that, or they're just focusing on the crime in the news.
I'm gonna tell you what Pence told Tucker. It's not my concern.
Of course it isn't, man.
I need tanks in Ukraine, man.
They
Fuck
only
our
get
big
elected,
cities
man.
and how
They don't go.
dangerous and all that, but it's not my concern. But yeah, so I was just like, damn, of course, fucking Sox had a couple years ago, a decade ago, we had a fans run out the field and beat up the first base coach of the Kansas City Royals. I don't know if you remember that.
No,
And then they
that's crazy.
arrested him, and then it was a father-son team. And then they're like, "Why'd you guys beat him up? He flicked us off."
What the hell?
And then apparently that's not true, of course, but they just ran out there and fucked them up. And then they've always had issues with people running onto the field, but now with the shootings, like I don't know, man, it's pretty rough right now. But that's all the time we got this week, man. We want to thank you for listening. Remember, you can follow Freeform Network on Twitter at Freeform Network. Send your questions and suggestions to ffnquestions@gmail.com. Don't forget to check out our webpage, freeformnetwork.podbean.com. All our shows are on there. We're on YouTube. Has a bunch of shows on there, and we're on a ton of other platforms like Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify. However you listen to us on podcasts, we're probably on there. However you do consume, listen, hit subscribe and write a comment. That helps us out immensely. For Freeform Radio, we got Noel.
Hey, thank you very much for listening. Be safe out there.
And it's all good, Andy. We want to thank you for listening, and we'll get you all next time.
That was cool, Dad.